She went from unsellable to now $350,000 in her pocket in 30 days once the offer was received after working with us for 9 months.
Started from the hustle, now we playing it smart. Put the system in position, took the grind out the heart. Got the team on a vision, every role playing part. Ain't no job, it's a business, that's the real boss art. We the 2Exit Podcast.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the show, Freedom to Exit. I'm your host, Sam Mitchell. Also, I'm a consultant for Exit Factory North here in Atlanta, Georgia. We're joined here today with two of our consultants and the owner of our company, Josiah Wiley and Maurice Grant. Guys, now look, we've been talking about the exit factor and who we are and what we do. And again, going back to our training, so Josiah, let's give us to start the show, what's our elevator speech? When we first meet a client, let's tell them who we are and what we do.
Absolutely, Coach. You know, Exit Factor is a company that comes in and partners with you to put together a exit plan in place to build up a sellable business, to build your sellable business, get some incremental growth, and then position it for the highest value possible when you go to sell. That's what Exit Factor does.
Now, we've talked about in previous episodes who we are, what we do, why you need us, why we're so essential for business owners. But we didn't give any examples. And people often ask, well, Coach, what type of businesses that Exit Factor get involved with? And guys, I'm going to tell you something. We do roofers, HVAC, heating and air, landscaping businesses, dentists and doctors' offices, all type of thing. But Maurice asked me this question. He said, Coach, we need some examples to give our listeners out there. So I got 3 examples here in front of me, and we're going to let you guys, our 2 Exit Factor consultants, the gurus, the experts, dive into these companies. First one.
You read along with us, though.
I'm right here with you guys, but right now I'm doing my other job, my part-time gig as the host, right? This is one of the examples I want to give you guys. I got a medical spa company. Young lady owned this company. It didn't have an evaluation. Let me give you her background. She was an absentee owner. She let the business get away from her. The location was messy. The bookkeeping was a disaster. But she had this business and she wanted to sell it. She came to us in the Exit Factor. She said, this is my business. This is the state that it's in. What can you guys do for me? But now again, everyone had told her because of the state of the business that it was in, that it was unsellable. Josiah and Maurice, you look at this medical spa business, and this client comes to you. Everybody has shut the door on him. Josiah, when you looked at this company and you just read a brief notation about what's going on in her business, what was the conversation like with this owner?
Hey, you know, Coach, like the first thing that it comes to mind, Maurice, too, and that is the absenteeism, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're not present with your business or even connected or engaged with the people within the business, how can you be confident, you know, that business is going to be successful moving forward? How can you as a business owner even really be in that position where you're disconnected like that? Maurice, what do you think about that?
So I'm on the other side of the fence with this. Like, if you're an absentee owner, like if you're an absentee business owner, it means your system has to be 100% dialed in.
Mm-hmm.
Like where you get a report card and you can see what's good, what's bad, what's happening, and then just check on it. But you don't got to be there presently every single day. If you're an absentee owner and how this lady, like, bookkeeping is a disaster, the location is messy, it's like, yeah, because you don't have no system in place. Like, you don't know what's actually happening there. And then the people there don't care that much because they don't own it.
Yeah, even if you were to like check in, right, with the people running the business from time to time, at least you wouldn't be completely absentee, right? You know, and that you know, that begs the question, like, you're coaching a basketball team, I'm coaching my son's baseball team, right? If the coach isn't present, you know, what are the players going to do? They're just going to, like, you go all over the place, have fun. Well, I tell you from my experience, my kids' team, you know, the kids be goofing off, they not be practicing, right? So even when you have a business like this, if you're an absentee owner, you have to put something in place to where you're still engaged with the people that are there, that are managing the business day to day.
Yes.
in some form or fashion.
And
So let me hold up. Let me ask you guys this question now, because now you guys ought to fix it. I'm this business owner. When I was a coach, my first year coaching, Wayne Emery was a consultant, and I used to come in after practice and complain. We don't have this. We don't have that. We can't do this. We can't do that. And as a business owner, they come in and they ranting and raving to us about their business, telling us they need their help, and they giving us this dire position that they're in. My team has no talent. My team has no depth. We're not any good. And Wayne Emery would look at me, and he'd take his glasses off, and he would lean across that table. He would look at me in my eyes. He would say, "That's why we hired you, coach." So when that owner is in our office, and she leans across the table with this business, and she's seen our podcast, she's seen our advertisement, she's heard us, she's seen all the great things we do, and she leaned across the table and she said, "Josiah, Maurice, and Sam, and Floyd, what do I do?" So she's leaning across the table. She got this unsellable business. What do we do for an owner like that at Exit Factor?
And you know, like, the very first thing that we would do is take a complete assessment of the business, right? Looking at all of the different areas within the company that to analyze it, right? And from there, we build out a plan. In this specific example that you're providing us here, and I see this actually fairly often, and that is that the finances are kind of a mess, right? So one of the early onset strategies is going to be, hey, let's get that cleaned up, right? And then let's put together a plan on how to manage the business, and take it forward, right?
If I'm not mistaken, that's called our value process in our whole Vortex system.
That's right.
So taking people through the values, like what are we actually aiming towards, and what's going on right now? Like we can't help you until we know what's actually happening right now, and then where you're looking to get to. So once we got clear on that of what's this medical facility is looking like, then we can kind of like gauge the next steps, if that makes sense.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand, this is something not no imaginary business. This is an actual case study. Josiah, what I want you to do, because we got a couple more that we want to go through. Tell our viewers and listeners out there, what was the outcome for this young lady who came to us, Exit Factor, who was distressed, who really thought she had an unsellable business? Let's give the listeners out there the outcome. What were we able to do for this young lady?
Yeah, absolutely. So in this situation, this lady came to us, came to Exit Factor. She enrolled in our EF2 program, which is where we're meeting with her quarterly and putting together that exit assessment and strategy. And after going through the Exit Factor program and through that process, her unsellable business that was evaluated at the beginning ended up selling for $150,000, which is pretty impressive, because at first it was more of like a asset sale, right? Close the doors.
Josiah, I think you're wrong. Your number's wrong. 350,000. Yeah,
wrong.
And I like that even better. That's okay. Hey, it's okay to be wrong when you're going up. Don't be wrong when you're going down.
That's right. That's right. But yeah, you're right, Coach. That one, it was 350,000.
Wow.
And that one she actually sold earlier too. So she listed it and thought it was going to take a lot longer to sell, but she ended up selling months before that she thought she was, getting 3 offers way higher than she anticipated. So not only did she sell earlier, she got 3 full price offers within the first week and was able to close with one of them all cash in 30 days. So she went from unsellable to now $350,000 in her pocket in 30 days once the offer was received, after working with us for 9 months.
So let me get that straight. So she sold her business in 10 months?
Might as well say.
So that includes 9 months of going through the Exit Factor program, working on building up that value within the business, and then sold it within 30 days. Now, what's the typical turn time for somebody that goes to sell their business on their own?
Without us.
Without us. It's like what, like 12, 15 months or more?
It could be 3 to 5 years. It could be as long as 3 to 5 years.
The average is they just close their doors.
Yeah. So, I mean, listen, like that's pretty impressive. An unsellable business that was going to be an asset sale turned into a $350,000 sale in 10 months instead of being an asset sale.
All right, now I got another case study for us. All right, listen, folks. So we just took a unsellable business with an absentee owner, with the books a mess and a bad location, and was able to flip this business of working with us in our EF2 program for $350,000. Next company, case study, medical device company. Right, it's a husband and wife, very successful business. All right, here's a husband and wife. They have a customer concentration issue. And what I mean by that is 65% of their business is with one client. 65% is with one client. Also, the owners were heavily involved in their business. When you think back and you take a look back and you look at this business, how were we at the exit factor able to come in and help this company? This company had an original valuation of $750,000. Let's talk about what we were able to do for this couple and what were we able to get them for their business.
Yeah, Coach. So this specific customer came to us, like you said, highly dependent on one revenue stream. Is a niche product. And so they entered into our EF3 program. Now, our EF3 program is a program where you work with us in our expertise continuously, right? That's when you get our full attention, and then we work directly with that business owner to implement change to get that increase and build business into a sellable business.
Now,
right?
how often are we going to be available for that business owner in our EF3 program?
Monthly. We'll meet with them in person every month. We're available to them by our cell phone, text messages, and emails. Zoom, as much as needed, in order to implement that actionable change in the business. Now, Maurice, go ahead.
I noticed one thing with this client is that they had 60% of their revenues coming from one client. That kills their valuation right then and there, because if that one client leaves, that's cutting all of the profits of the company, like more than half of the profits of the company. So the first thing that we had to do was literally like diversify their income. Now, getting rid of that is like any business owner that has more than 20% of the revenue coming from one client is drastically killing how much your business is worth, because now you're dependent only on that one source. By adapting and changing it up and having multiple different clients, that to replace this is the number one factor that we kind of like help to increase their revenue from 750 to 1.4.
Now, Josiah, we talk about this medical device company. Now, what was their exit? They came to us with a valuation of $750,000. When they went through the EF3 program, what was exit factor able to do for this husband and wife client?
Absolutely, Coach. So this medical device company was within the exit factor program in the EF3, which is where we were working with them continuously every month for 12 months. After going through that 12-month exit planning and exit strategy to build up that sellable business, the business sold in a 6-month time period instead of what, like we talked about earlier, 15 months, a year or more.
6 months.
And that business,
wait.
like you talked about earlier.
Can we
go ahead?
Really put some emphasis on that? In 6 months, they took what they was going to get $750,000 for, and they got $1.4 million in 6 months.
That's right. So they had a 87% increase in the value of their company when they went to sell after a year of going through the program. And then and then in 6 months' time, they got $650,000 more in the sale than they would have if they hadn't gone through the program.
Just think about that, people. Going through this exit planning process, looking at their company, looking at the things that, and one thing I learned in training, and you guys can emphasize this. I know when they was giving us case studies in our training, everybody wanted to go to the P&Ls first. Everybody run to the P&Ls, the numbers. But something that we learned that why we're so good and better than everyone else, we don't just look at the numbers. We sit down and have that conversation with the clients. We sit down and look at the things that they have written in place. Their standard operation procedure, how they do things, their environment, their culture, how their systems in place. And when we sit down and look at all those things, that's why we're able to increase the value of these companies. Because you guys say it all the time. And Maurice, your example of holding that piece of paper or something right there in front of you to where you're just blinded and that's all you see. But when you're able to take a step back or move that back, now you can see, you have a clear picture of everything. And you can get a very good, clear vision of what your business is and more importantly, what it can be.
Right. So hit on that point. We look at two different things. So you mentioned just the quality. Like a lot of people just look at, okay, your P&Ls, how much money you're making, which is the quantity. We look at both the quantity and the quality. So they make up two aspects of your company. One is, okay, the average business owner is selling for 2x of SDE or EBITDA, which is basically net profit. Now, when you look at the quality of the company, which is the systems, the processes inside, the SOPs that's documented, the everything that makes up the organizational world, what's your mission statement, your brand statement, and then how much of the business is dependent on the actual owner itself, that makes up the quality. Their quality now determines your multiple. So now instead of selling for a 2x multiple, you now could be selling for a 5x multiple for the exact same business, just because you actually structured your business in a way that is presentable to buyers, bankers, and investors.
I'm going to read you what the owner said. This is what they said about working with Exit Factor. Our participation in the Exit Factor program have changed the direction and focus of our business. EF analysts validated many of our business processes and confirmed that we were doing a lot of the right things. So, guys, when we look at our customers, our clients, and we look at what we're able to do for them, man, we're able to provide solutions and give them their life back. But last but not least, now we're going to get to the big one, the juicy one. So I want people to understand, we work with a lot of different businesses, a wide range of businesses, from $1 million companies to $10 to $20 million. Our niche is that $1 million to $200 million niche. That's that space that we're in, because if you go to the big boys, they don't have time for the businesses $1 million to $200 million. That's our niche. Now, the last company, this is a good one. Environmental company. Right? And again, husband and wife. And it's amazing that we see most partners are not partners, it's husband and wife partnership. Now, this company has some of the same issues that our last company, but on a much larger scale. They had 70%, environmental company, they had 70% of their revenue tied with one contractor, but this is the kicker. That contract was being controlled by a third party. So what we're saying is they got this great contract that's paying them all this money, but they didn't even have control of how to renew it, when to renew it, and how does it get renewed. So they had this contract, they're making this money, but they had no control of that. They entered into our EF3 program.
To hit on that part though, so like that right there is equivalent to like going back to school and you had to listen to your teachers of when you can eat and what you can eat. As an adult, as a business owner, you're letting someone else determine how much food is on your table for your family. As a company, you're letting someone else, that third-party contract, determine 70% of your income. If you decide that, or if they decide that, I don't even want to do this anymore, you like this relationship was cool, or they just happen to have an accident, they're determining 70% of your income, your company's income. That one person, like, as a business owner, the fact that they had that going on is wild. But it's
one other thing I want to add to it now, to their problems. They had other businesses that they ran through this company and other investments that they ran through the company. So not only was 70% of their money with one big contractor, they didn't even control that contract, but yet they were also using their business to run other entities through that business.
And Maurice, you have perfect examples of how that works really well.
Yeah, experience.
From your experience, because remind me if I'm wrong, but you had one business, actually several businesses where one was failing and you'd use cash from the other business to subsidize that to prop it up, right?
Hmm.
And vice versa. And how that didn't really work well for you, did it?
Nah, so like my car rental business, it was cash heavy, so I was easy getting cash on a quickly basis. In real estate, we was cash poor because we constantly paying contractors and waiting till the next payout or the next sale. So I was using the money from my car rental business to cover a lot of expenses on the real estate side for my contractors to pay for certain jobs and everything if the contractor screwed up. So it's like when things went bad, I kind of relied on other businesses to help it kind of like fill up. But now when it came to taxes, when it came to this, and my accountant is like, hey, so you spent $50,000 somewhere. Like what does this house have to do with car rentals?
Mm.
I'm like, can we make something up here? I don't know. Figure it out. That's your job.
Now, Coach, let me ask you a question. Like this specific client, like how long did they go through um the exit factor program?
Man, this is gonna blow you guys' mind. When they signed up with us, Exit Factor, in our EF3 program, 6 months. Now you're talking about a company that was too heavily relied on one customer, that was running different entities and businesses through that business, and then had other investments. So they had the whole gamut of things going on. And Josiah, when they entered in that EF3 program, think about what we were able to do. We were able to double the free time. We were able to increase the value by over 50%. We increased their bottom line as we were going through the process by over 25%. And then, Josiah, what were we able to do? This company, when they came to Exit Factor, they had an evaluation. Now, check this out: $5 million. That's a pretty good evaluation. But but going through our EF3 program, Josiah, what was Exit Factor able to do for this client, and how much money did they exit out of?
Well, Coach, this is an amazing example of how powerful exit planning can be to your business. This business went from a $5 million valuation to $10 million. Can you believe that?
10.
Doubled
That's
the
retirement money.
value of the company by going through the exit factor program. $10 million. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine what you could do with $10 million in your pocket right now?
With an
Think
extra
about that
$5,
for a minute.
a whole lot of
A
things.
whole lot of things with $10 million. Right?
I can get divorced. I can get remarried. I can pay one off and bring another one in.
There you
There's a
go.
whole lot of things. My mind just going right now.
So, and I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, but the way that we did this, going back to like I would like to break down how we was able to get them $5 million in 6 months. Like $5 million in 6 months for the same exact company that they probably worked 20, 30 years to build up. In 6 months, we doubled the valuation. Value, like hitting the actual importance of what they're doing now and where they want the business to go. And then we touched on optimizing, which is like, let's change the things that are actually working in this business's organization and strategically put the components that's working in place and remove the things that's not working. Record was now tracking all the stuff that is working in an efficient way that we know the metrics of the KPIs of the things that we want to hit on the weekly basis nonstop. It's like, hey, in this particular industry, we want this metric, this metric, this metric. Let's start recording all this information and then transform, which is now to remove all the people that should not be there and actually implement the strategies needed to now grow and scale this company to that next level, to now prepare all of this on a nice shiny plate for the buyer to be like, bro, this is what I wanted. I will pay $10 million for this. When the last person was like, bro, that's only worth $5 million. The exact same business, because we went through the program of value, optimize, record, transform, and exit, we took them through the process of like, hey, you want to sell, like, put it like this. If I want to sell my car right now and put it on Facebook Marketplace, just put it up like right now. I haven't washed my car in probably like a month, 2 months, who knows. I haven't changed my brakes. I haven't checked my oil. I put it up. Do y'all think I'm going to get the highest offer for that car? Probably not. But if I spent some time to actually get my car detailed, let me wash it, Let me change the oil. Let me change my brakes. Let me rotate my tires. Let me do all the things I need to actually prepare the exact same car
Put some
for
couple of air fresheners in there. Make
put
it
some
smell
air
good.
fresheners. Like do
That's a
everything.
really good example,
Remove
Maurice.
the
Yeah.
stickers that's on the back that
Mhm.
says beep it for you ugly. Like whatever extra stuff that's irrelevant to the cars. It's like get it nice and clean. That exact same car, but prepare because I did the preparation to prepare it for sale. I'm going to get a lot higher
Mhm.
offer, a lot bigger offer for this exact same car than I would if I just put it
So
up.
let me ask you guys
Absolutely.
this then.
Absolutely.
What stops owners? This all sounds common sense, but you guys have talked about this in other episodes. When you're this close to that baby, when you birth that baby and you nurture that baby and you change that baby diaper and you rock that baby to sleep and that baby becomes your world, that baby feeds you, houses you, clothes you, pays for your vacation, your entertainment. That baby becomes your everything, which is your business now.
Mm-hmm.
How do we get owners to understand, one, they need to invest. When your business is struggling, you need to invest in your business, right?
Yep.
And the investment is bringing in consultants from the exit factor, to your point, to help you do all those things that because you're so close, you lose sight of.
I want to add to what you said. It's not even only if your business is struggling, if it's thriving as well. Like if you already have a business that is growing at a steady rate, but you're still involved in the day to day, getting somebody to help you remove yourself to now be able to look at it from a bird's eye
Say that
view.
one more time. People don't understand. Even if you have a thriving business,
Mhm.
even if your bank account is growing, but you are the one that's driving that business day in and day out.
God forbid an accident happens that you can't communicate or you can't pull up to the office or you can't do
Or
something.
you die. People die
You die.
unexpectedly.
Because everything was still dependent on you, that business starts to crash. So now
So
all
you
your
telling me you can have a
employees,
$10 million potential business, but because you didn't have the proper strategies in place, that $10 million that this person got for this business could have been worth zero.
yeah,
Man, that's incredible. I mean, you could buy a yacht for $10 million,
Yeah.
right? That's the difference between the 5 and the 10, right? And not only could you retire, but you could buy, some fun toys like a yacht or something like
And
that.
Josiah, before we
Yeah.
close this segment out, I want you two guys, in your own words, starting with you, Maurice, why exit factor is important, why we're needed, and why you need to come see us.
mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. So the exit factor is so important. It's vital to all business owners because it helps identify areas of your business, like we talked about before, of improvement and puts together a strategic plan to grow your business into the highest value possible for a sellable business, right? And we were talking about that the other day. It can take your multiplier on your profit, the valuation of your business from 3 to 5 to 6 times or more, just by putting that strategic plan in place, cleaning some things up, and working with the exit factor team. You can get a $5 to $10 million valuation or a three non-sellable business to $350,000, right? And that's the power of the exit factor in our program.
So in my journey of experiencing life, I came across a statement. I can't remember who told me, but the largest transfer of wealth happens through mergers and acquisitions. So it's not through passing over real estate, it's not through passing over actual money, it's through passing businesses over, through merging and acquisitions of companies. And when the statistic came to me, like before I was a speaker, before I was a coach, before I was anything, I was always an investor. I started in real estate and then I jumped into business. As I'm trying to acquire companies, it was so hard. And the reason is not because I couldn't qualify. It's like I'm good. I'm going to the bank. I got private money lenders. I got funders. I got everything I needed. But especially the banks in particular, like I'm going to the bank, take the information from the company, and the bank's over here laughing like, you want $1 million for this company right here? Like, no, we'll give you 200,000 for this company. I'm like, wait, what? The company's making money, but is not worth as much as the business owner thought. And that conversation happened 8 out of 10 times. So out of the 10 companies I would try to buy, 8 of them was never prepared to sell if they wanted to. And it's not because I can't qualify. It's not because the money isn't there. It's because the business isn't worth what they actually want it to be for the owner.
And exit factor helps put that plan together, right?
Yes. So that's where I was like, I made like, this is a mission selfishly because I want to buy more businesses, but also it's like, I want more people to have something that's sellable, but also scalable. So not when you're deciding to grow your company, you're crashing and burning, because the quickest thing to making your business fail is scaling it too fast. But also in the future of 1 year, 5 year, 10 year, you can have something that's actually sellable, or you can pass it down to a kid, a spouse, a employee, or franchise it, whatever you want to do. Having a foundation set for your business is one of the most important things, and that's what we do here at Exit Factor. It's to get your company prepared for exiting, because regardless if it's today, if it's tomorrow, if it's in 10 years, you will have to exit your business one day. You just got to determine whose rules is going to be on, yours or somebody else's.
Josiah, before we go, I want you to say one last thing. When do you start your exit planning? This is going to blow your mind, people. Listen to this.
You know, it's really interesting, and thanks for bringing that up, because I don't think we've talked about that in our other
When do you start your
yet.
exit planning?
So you should always start your exit planning the day you start your business.
Well,
that's the best time to start your exit planning.
Josiah, say that again, because I don't think people understand what you're saying. You should start your exit strategy when?
When you first start your business is the correct time to start your exit planning.
Why? Because you're putting in all the proper procedures and things in place that's going to help your business run as smooth as possible from start to that exit. Mm-hmm. Guys, listen. Thank you for joining us on this show. Understand something. When we talk about, as a coach, the things that made me a good coach also hurt me as a coach. Trying to coach every aspect of the team. For my business owners, that's your baby. The things that made you successful, being able to wear all those hats, being able to do all those things, to drive that business, to make it a $10 million business, those things are great. But those same things that made you and helped you grow your business are going to be the things that's going to be a detriment to you when it's time to exit out of that business. Because understand this, the buyers out there, they can't do all the things that you can do, right? You want your business, the more people that can buy your business and make money in your business, the more valuable your business is. Mm-hmm. Guys, thank you for joining us today from Freedom to Exit. I want to thank Maurice, who's a consultant for Exit Factor North. Also, the president and owner of Exit Factor North, Josiah Wiley. And guys, this is going to be, again, a weekly segment. We're here not just to introduce our services to you, but to bring a valuable insight and strategies to our business owners out here in the Atlanta metro area. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening.
Wait. Okay. My bad. We got to always end it off like this now. Revenue feeds your ego, profit feeds your family, but exit planning feeds your legacy.
I dropped the mic on that one. See you next week.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.